Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire. Cactv, ignite.
Good morning, it's a beautiful Monday morning and it's a delight to be on your screen this morning. Sure you guys had a very fantastic weekend. This is Cactv and the Morning Dew. This is the newspaper review, and quickly before we go on a quick break and tell you what we have in store for you, let me quickly introduce myself. I remain yours truly, Modest Dominic, and with me today
I'm in the house, so my name again is Dapo Loroto. Good morning, Modest.
Good morning.
How are you? Good to see you. How is Nigeria?
Nigeria is fine. We can't complain.
It's good to be here, and I'm doing great. Viewers, like she has said, we have so much for you today on the program, and so just sit back, grab a cup of tea, and then you have a blast as the show starts now.
All right, so quickly before we take a look at the news making headlines around the globe, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll let you in on the details. Stay tuned.
Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire. 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 Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire.
Welcome back, and again, our quote for the day is Psalms 40 and verse 4. The Bible says, "Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, and does not respect the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies." What this verse of the Bible is asking of us is absolute dependence on God. It's saying that we should do away with the proud people, with proud minds, and focus on God, because in Him we can be made fat. In Him we can find reality, truth, and not lies. If we turn away from the Lord, we are never going to get anything but lies, deceit, and stuff that cannot elevate our lives. But depending on God, we attract, we generate all the blessings that God has in store for. And that's why the word blessed, anywhere you say blessed or blessed, it means that God is up to something pertaining to you, and He has capacity to bless us. And that will do for us as the week has just begun. God bless you, and anchor your life on this scripture throughout the week, and God will truly bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Bishop, for that quote. So quickly, let's take a look at the news making headlines for the day. So we'll be starting with the Punch newspaper, and first story that we have says collecting pension unlawful, Falana tells Akpabio and others. Okay, so the chairman of Alliance and Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, Mr. Femi Falana-San, has appealed to the Senate President Godwill Akpabio and other former governors to stop collection of pension as ex-governors. Falana, a human rights lawyer, urged former governors to emulate Ogun State's former governor Benga Daniel and former Gombe State Governor Ibrahim Dankobo And also the senior lawyer stated that since the Kwara, Imo and Zamfara State House of Assembly had abolished the governor's pension scheme, he admonished other houses of assembly to follow suit without any further delay. Falana, in his statement on Sunday, also made reference to the judgment delivered on November 26, 2019 by Justice Oluremi Oguntoyibo. He also declaring the payment of the pension to former governors as illegal and unconstitutional. The plaintiff and advocacy group Social Economy, Right and Accountability Project had filed the suit against the Attorney General of the Federation, wherein it challenged the constitutional validity of the pension paid to former governors in Nigeria. All thanks to Falana on that. I when I saw this story, I was so excited. There's this smile on my face, like there was one morning I was going to come to see that somebody is actually standing up to tell these people that, come, what you guys are doing is actually not right. You can't still be in the office, you're serving and then you're collecting pension. Is just so unheard of. And then why are you still collecting pension when you're still serving in the office where you're still being paid? Does that make any sense at all? So kudos to Falana, and I really look forward to this to them coming together and also seeing reasons to what he has said. So Bishop, what's your take on this?
Well, I would say we shouldn't celebrate yet because it is just a suit. It is yet to be, to be a law in a way that it will, curb the present retired or ex-governors from taking, unnecessary allowances, despite occupying certain political offices. Some of them are already ministers, some are in the Senate. But as it may, what the activist lawyer Falana has proposed is a very laudable thing. For me, I think all the ex-governors should, of the truth, emulate what former Governor Brigadier Daniel and co, has done in that regard. They have, they are in the Senate and they have do away with receiving allowances as ex-governor of their states, and then they are leaving. And these former governors are not even poor people. At all. These are multi-billionaires. I don't know why they still want to be, taking so much from the government that is poor, because the country is broke.
They are actually borrowing to make sure that they are meeting up your needs.
And they should be sacrificing, so much so that the states can even forge ahead. But the reverse is the case. They still want to. I remember a time while Akpabio was the city governor of Akwa Ibom, proposing that all former governors should be restricted to taking, I think, 100 million naira a month. He put for the bill at the time that the senators should look into it. And some people were of the opinion that 100 naira, 100 million every month, that is crazy. But the truth is that his agitation at the time was that they were taking more than 100 million,
of course,
every month. How? Medical. When they go abroad for medicals, their kids, their wives, something allowances and all. Before you know it, it's so much on the government. So he proposed, but that proposal did not sit well with many of them, and we never had anything afterwards. But this time around, I'm praying that this suit will, will survive in a judicial system and will get will be enacted for the ex-governors to follow. That way we can say, okay, what Falana has pushed for as now, getting a crown.
Okay, yes, because if you're really telling us to adjust to situations of the economy right now, I believe that you also need to lead by example. So if all of that, all the incentive is still coming to you at this stage when you're still taking a lead in a political office, then it doesn't make any sense for me. So I really look forward to this. being taken a look at, and then something needs to be done to it. Okay, so taking a look at the next story that we have, the second story says that Tinubu drives domestic refining and imports. Recent move in the downstream oil sector highlights Nigeria's paradox of misery amid enormous endowment. While the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited pledged 6 million barrels of crude oil to the Dangote refinery by December, 5 other smaller domestic refiners lamented their inability to commence production. Pump prices of refined products climbed higher amid continued supply issues. Without further delay, President Bola Tinubu should drive a program facilitating domestic self-sufficiency in refining. Officials, including the Minister of State for Petroleum, Enikin Lapo Biri, admitted that the failure of the NNPC to supply Dangote refinery and 5 modular refineries with crude feedstock had stalled their full take off. They also blamed lower than expected crude production for the lapse. The Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria lamented that several more refineries were also nearing completion but were stuck because of supply uncertainties. Meanwhile, the pump prices spike created further apprehension for business operators and dependent Nigerians' agony. Manufacturers said that the rise in per litre price of diesel to 1,275 in Lagos and 1,300 ex-Lagos was further impacting on production costs and prices. Okay, so taking a look at that second story would see that there is so much going on in the refinery sector, and looking at the fact that gas is now, I really don't want this to happen, because as of last week, myself and Engineer Ola, there was this topic that we also touched on, where we also have to talk about scarcity, because I know that when anything pushes further into petroleum, everybody wants to go into that direction. And now looking at, we also have not just the cooking gas that is also using the gas, the fact that we have to cook with gas. We also have the fact that we now have cars that are coming in that would be using gas. So definitely everyone would just want to rush in, and there would be scarcity, either scarcity or price in gas. And this is what we're experiencing. This is what is coming in right now. What exactly our fear at the moment. So looking at this, and then there is so much price, misconduct also going on between Dangote and all of that. So what's your take, Engineer Ola, if you have to say something about this?
Well, calling me Engineer Ola is not the
exact
issue, but I will reply, going by the story. Well, I think it's worrisome to imagine what people are going through at the moment, and going by how much dependence we have, our economy is built on oil, shows how unserious we are as a nation. Because for me, I think we ought to have scaled beyond this level of mediocrity. As a country, whose GDP, whatever we make is absolutely dependent on oil, I think we should do better. If not for ourselves, for the country. It's because a large number of us depends on the fuel for either petrol, either the gas, either diesel, and the pump prices is crazy. Now Dangote have been the talk of the matter as regards this oil. So month Dangote will start production. When it's so month, everything we have seen has been promised, and now we're looking up to December is just a month away, and I'm sure it's still a promise until we are in January. So I think Nigeria should just be truthful to itself our leaders should be truthful. The president should be truthful to us enough to tell us that we haven't arrived at a point of solution on the ground of how to distribute or sell or import or export this Dangote, whatever. If the NNPC will be supplying Dangote and the refinery is not ready, then the citizens will suffer. We tend to buy at a higher price, and the moment the price of oil goes up, commodities goes price triple. At the moment, if you go into stocks, you discover that people cannot even trade well.
Exactly.
And those that even trade, they are already starving. So I don't know how they intend to create a solution with promises that have not been met.
And I also think that they need to prepare our mind, because so far they've been telling us it's going to start up, it's going to kickstart by November, and from November it's going to kickstart by August, and then they keep pushing, and our minds we're so ready, looking forward to this commencing. So I think the government what they need to do is prepare, get themselves ready. Once they are ready.
My worry again is putting mouth in this matter. Because how do you discuss this and not abuse government? Sincerely, how do you do a review of that, something that is not as if it's a good news or anything, a promise upon promise, and then so and so you give excuses, and so how do you want us to believe what you are saying is true or false?
For me, it also shows that they are not ready. They really do not even understand.
So let's just appeal to the government that whatever you are putting to the media should be something that you are so sure about is going to be effective. It's going to be effective. If you are not going to be, if you are not ready to push Dangote refinery to start supplying and to start manufacturing, let us know when and how. Let it be 2025. At least we will know that between now and 2025, Nigerians will go through so and so. We'll be able to predict our woes. And then not that you raise our hopes and then clear off our feet. I'm sorry.
And then we wait in expectation.
Okay,
we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at further stories. Please stay tuned. This is still the newspaper review on Cactv. We'll be right back shortly.
CAC TV, igniting the apostolic fire.
Yes, welcome back from that quick break, and I'm sure that you're having a fantastic time with us, taking a look at the news making headlines today. So we'll take a look at the next story, still on the Punch newspaper. This says cooking gas scarcity hits Lagos, Katsina and others. Scarcity in liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, has hit Lagos and some other states in the country. The other affected states, according to findings by the correspondents, are also Katsina, Sokoto, Delta, Kaduna and Kano. The rise in price of the commodity has been noticed since late last month, causing a continuous rise in prices. The Punch also learned that the Punch had earlier reported how gas terminal owners increased price by 66% in October alone. That's alarming. Price of 20 metric tons of cooking gas rose from 10 million naira at the beginning of last month to 16 million naira as of late last month, despite NLNG currently supplying at 20 MT of cooking gas to them at 9 million naira. Market survey carried out by the Punch over the weekend revealed that 12.5 kg of cooking gas now sells for between 13,500 and 14,000 naira at the blank market. Okay, which is at the black market. Some of the traders informed to the Punch that the plant owners now sell to them at between 1,100 naira and 1,200 per 1 kg, as they could not access enough quantity. Okay, so we also see that as of June, the price of 12.5 kg was around 8,700. That's a long gap. In September, price rose to 10,200 naira, and as of Saturday, price had again risen to between 13,500 to 14,000 naira. Okay, so where exactly are we going is the question on my mind. Now, if this is just the beginning, in fact, it's less than 3 months that we have started talking about this gas thing, and now we're already having scarcity. Now December, you know what worries me the most is, December time now, there's always this rush in everything, in food, in petrol. There's always problem,
It's not rush, it's higher demand.
So what makes it different? Is it not still the same cooking? So why are we going through this at this point is the question that is currently on my mind. Because as of last week, the president was actually saying that things will actually change now that we have vehicles that will be coming in using petrol, using gas, I beg to say. So why do we now have this coming up at this time? And the fact that it is going to affect cooking as well, because virtually every home now uses gas to cook. My grandma at home uses gas to cook. So where do we go from here at this point?
It's not a good development to see 60% increment on the part of the dealers. It's a really sad story, and it's pitiable for citizens who are patronage, of gas and use. We use that in our home, some use it for their power generator, and then so now they said there will be cars that will be on gas. I think we are still not ready for our citizens to live well. It all depends on the government. If they want to make us suffer the way they are making us go right now, I think it will still come back to them, because there is an elastic limit to everything in life.
Exactly.
When you push people to the wall and to the wall and to the wall, a time will come the wall will fall.
It bounce back.
And it's either it falls on them and it falls on you. But whichever fall that may comes, it will be in between the people and the government, because they have been pushed and we have been pushed. You see, I think it's not normal for us as a country to thrive through this route of inflation on the purchase of gas. It's too high. Under 3 months, you can imagine the gap. It's too wide. How do you want people to survive?
66%.
How do you want people to survive? So are you asking us to go back to charcoal or what? Are you asking us to go back to God forbid.
Oh my goodness!
Because I don't know what I don't know what they are recommending as leaders or father of the nation.
Because if you can't access fuel on its own is a no-go area, and now the only thing that people are currently managing to
people too need to gas as a way of that this will
would reduce costs.
But now it's like the highest. if not higher than diesel.
Of course, because as it is now, 14. Now this is just November. Now when it comes to when we now enter December itself, where we always have rush in everything, so what then is going to be the case? Please, at this point, I really look forward to the president stepping into this and saying something about it, so that we don't go back and forth on this. This is supposed to be a means of having, easing the issue and the pressure on the masses, and not putting so much pressure on them again. At this point, we are dealing with too much. Too much mentally. People are going through stress. Don't add to it. The least the government needs to do is not add to the problems that the masses are going through. Okay, so away from the Punch, we're done with the Punch newspaper. So now we're taking a look at the story from the Vanguard. So the first story that we have from the Vanguard says CBN Governor Cardoso vows to fight inflation. The governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, has said the bank under his leadership was determined to make its impact felt by curtailing inflation. He said, at the end of our tenure, we want to look back and see that our policies have positively impacted people's life. The bank disclosed yesterday that Mr. Cardoso restated the direction of his leadership while playing host to the impacting investing community, led by the 14th Emir of Kano and Khalifa of the Tijaniya Sufi Order of Nigeria and the neighboring countries, Muhammad Sanusi, who was also former governor of the Apex Bank. Sanusi also, while expressing concern about the inflation rate in the country, urged the new leadership at the CBN to work persistently at driving down the rate, which he noted had severely impacted the wealth of individuals. Speaking further, Mr. Cardoso thanked the impact investing community for visiting the CBN, noting that the community represented an excellent future for Nigeria, with the potential to transform the country's economy by tapping into the investment opportunities available across the country. Okay, so that's the first story that we have from Vanguard. And for me, I like to hear news like this. I like to read stories like this. If it's one thing to say that you would do this before your tenure is over, and it's another thing to see that it is being implemented. So if Cardoso is coming out and saying he vows to fight inflation, how exactly is he intending to do it, and how is he carrying people along? Because there's some certain things you can't do alone. You have to carry people along. So if he's coming out to say that, okay, I'm going to do this before my tenure is over, kudos to you, and I wish him that God give him the strength to do that. Because in Nigeria, leading Nigeria, you actually need strength. And I am saying again that it shouldn't be just words, but there should be action backing up his statement.
You see, the name Yemi Cardoso is an household name in the Lagos politics, because and if you recall, during the president's speech where he said Emilokan and the likes at Ogun State, Yemi Cardoso was a name he mentioned while he was asked to bring his nominee for the VP at the time when the newly formed All Progressive Congress, and it was that nomination that he varied their credentials and then persons on now finally giving it to Yemi. Yemi, the VP, the former VP now, okay. Yemi Osinbajo. The president said at the time that Yemi Cardoso was one of the men he thought could be the vice president. So now that he has made him the CBN governor, we are we want to congratulate Mr. Yemi Cardoso for the appointment, and we look forward to seeing him hit the ground running, like they used to say. That's what they say at the entrance of appointment, that they would hit the ground running. That was what President Tinubu said, and then we can see how the ground is almost killing us. We just want to appeal that Mr. Yemi Cardoso will do everything within his power to reduce the current rate of inflation, which are really bastardized our economy. Things are not the same. That is just it. Things are not the same. We are appealing as a country, as a people, that God should surround himself with patriots, patriotic minds that can help him, rule the affairs of the economy, in a way that in no time we will say again that, oh, Naira is back on his feet. That's all I can say about everything, he has said. And if you look at the ancestors, Mr. Sanusi pointing out there, telling him that he should work on inflation. That is the concern of everybody. And every Nigerian now is suffering from inflation, and that is one thing you must work on and eradicate as quick and as soon as possible.
Well, for me, I believe that he would, because I think this is the first governor, CBN governor, that has an experience in the field. Looking back at, he has been into this accounting field, so he understands the economy so well. So I believe that he can actually pull this through if truly he means what he says, because it's one thing to mean what you say and do what you say. So our CBN governor, I am looking forward. I am so in support of you, and I really hope that my support will not be, when Nigerians will say there's no for my hand. So I'm really looking forward to for my hand.
Cardoso will not for your hand.
Honestly, I am also looking forward to that. Okay, moving further to the second story that we have from Vanguard. This says over 200,000 police officers for mental health education. Recognizing the importance of mental health among the armed forces, police, and other paramilitary bodies, particularly in the downline economy, the Mind Management Foundation is targeting over 200,000 members of the Nigerian police force for mental health awareness training in Lagos. Mind Management Foundation, a non-governmental organization that provides remedy to issues bothering mental health, said the program was designed to assist the government in tackling the societal menace. Flagging off the training at the Lagos Command, the director of the foundation, Barrister Anrize Emmanuel, at an event to mark the 2023 World Mental Health Day, described mental health as a critical issue that affects people of all ages. Emmanuel said with an estimated statistic of 1 in every 4 people in the society, mental health remains the root cause of suicide. She said our organization is embarking on a road tour to take this awareness campaign to 200,000 policemen and women nationwide. Our vision is to take this training to all other barracks in the nation, with a day of training on awareness drives about this societal menace. I'm so happy that they are starting with them. They are starting this awareness with the armed forces, because sometimes when you look at the behavior of some of these our policemen,
when they come for you, I'm not there.
When you look, no, see. Except you don't drive.
Everybody watching and listening is hearing me. I'm not there.
Except you are not in this Lagos. See, there are some actions you just see and you'll be like, the one I saw on Friday. While I was driving, I mistakenly hit a car while I was going on my training. So I hit a car while I was driving, and then you needed to see the speed at which the police officer just came from nowhere. And people were like, what exactly is going on? Is it more than like what exactly was running? When somebody is running for safety is different, and then when somebody is running with the intention of I am going to make sure that I extort this person, and then you ask again, are these people okay? Like, are they okay? So this is actually a good one, because aside from the armed forces, it is also something that is affecting the nation at large. And then looking at this, it is a good start, because we have cases of suicide every day, and some of these could also lead to mental health. So I'm so glad about this, this is coming up, and we believe that the awareness reaches out to a lot of people aside from the armed forces, but the nation at large. So what's your take, Dapo? I always come to you.
Now, you see, when the Minds Management Foundation, what they propose to do is to curb suicide events and ravaging. They say the menace is everywhere, and then to do away with it, they are organizing a mind management something to make sure people don't think in that direction again. That no matter how depressed you are, what should come to you is not suicide, which I think is a good idea from the initiative to have come up with such a vision, and now direct it to the armed forces, targeting the Nigerian police force and looking up to 200,000 of them. Wow, I want to say
there is
salute to the organizers of that initiative.
Honestly.
I pray it goes well. I pray they have their way to have the Nigerian police, touched, educated, and then taught how to manage their mindset, because when the mind is corrupt, I tell you, the entire body will go awry. So it's a good thing if the NGO are able to bring them into life, a much sophisticated, intelligent lifestyle where they don't have to do as much evil you have mentioned, even in your encounter with them. Some that I've had with them are very ugly, and I believe in every thinking, functioning person there is that part of depression, because we are human beings, and when there are situations we get to be depressed, but
and then you tend to want to transfer it.
What that is not supposed to do is to cause us to want to take our life. So, and let's just give it to the NGO, and we pray they are able to do beyond the police. They should extend it even to the last mile in Lagos, because they are more very insane than that of the police.
All right, so away from that, we'll take a look at the next story that we have. Okay, I think we should go to the Sun newspaper. Let's see what the Sun newspaper has for us. But quickly, before we go to the Sun newspaper, let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll let you in on what the Sun has to say to us today. So please stay tuned. It's still CSC TV, and this is the newspaper review. We'll be right back.
CAC TV, igniting the apostolic fire. Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire.
Thank you so much for staying tuned, and you're welcome back from that quick break. So we'll take a look at that story making the Sun newspaper today. So first we are building roads to enhance trade commerce. Governor Alex Oti of Abia has expressed the state government's determination to build roads that would enhance trade and commercial activities in the state. Oti said this on Sunday during the inauguration of the MCC Old Express Road in Abia, I beg to say. So the governor said his administration considered building good quality roads as not only critical to improving vehicular movement, but to giving businesses the enablement to thrive. He disclosed that the government had awarded contracts for the construction and rehabilitation of some roads that were important to economic development. We cannot drive the kind of economy rejuvenation that we seek if our most important roads are in bad shape, he said. The governor said the constructed road was a statement that the government had begun a holistic restoration of Aba and the state at large. Okay, so kudos to the governor, Alex Oti, for looking forward to making some of these roads better, because I tell you that if the roads are bad, it will definitely also affect the commercial lives of activities everywhere, because you see that a lot of the things that happens when people go to the market, they will tell you that the roads are very bad, you know, the stress I went through, so I have to pay. So in increments gradually would dive into what they sell as far as the road is concerned. So this is actually a good one for me, that the governor is looking forward to making sure that we have good road construction. Engineer Ola.
Again,
why?
Again, you have addressed me.
I think it's because you've been away for a very long time.
Wait. Anyways, let's give it to Mr. Oti for eating the ground running. Like our politicians would
and now you're also laughing like them. You know, when they do some things, you see them laugh more like they're making meaning of something.
If infrastructure is what attracts investors to any states that want to thrive economically, and then I think that's a good track to follow, as this would really affect the people of Abia State for good. And I believe that he is the only Labour state, the Labour Party. This is the only governor they've been able to secure in the last poll, and we look forward to them having more states. And we hope that Alex Oti is able to demonstrate, what the Labour Party can do in terms of development for the people within the country. So if he take for instance Governor Fashola was the campaign of APC when they were to take power from Jonathan, because Governor Fashola at the time was doing marvelously well in Lagos, and with that they were able to win Ogun State, they were able to win Ondo State and some other states in Southwest, and then they extended it to other parts of the country and now have it at the national level. So if this Governor Oti can do well by providing infrastructures that will attract both international and local investors, it will aid the development of Abia State and will even make their political political sphere to go bigger in scope, and then with that they can really say that people can really believe that
truly this
Labour can do something better than we are seeing with, because APC is really showing people.
Yesterday I saw on Twitter formerly known, I saw on X, formerly known as Twitter, that one person was saying that. So it means that if in 6 months a governor could actually achieve working on some roads and achieving some constructions being done in the space of 6 months, so that means that in 4 years they can do so much more. So why then do they wait on going on the second tenure before they can achieve everything? So if in 6 months OT can, has been able to do something for the state, if other governors are also following suit, not like the other governor, what's that his name again, who is fighting to come back, who has served before and is also trying to come back again and filing a suit, and he's saying this, he's taking it to Supreme Court to make sure that he comes back, that there is nothing like
impressive or something.
And I'm like, you are talking about what you would do. If you've done well so far as a governor, you wouldn't have to struggle to come back. People would want you back the moment you say that. Not saying that I will do this, when in 4 years you haven't done anything. You were supposed to be saying, if truly you've been doing something, was I was able to do this, I was able to do this, so this is what I will do. Not just saying I will do this, and then for 4 years gone by you haven't done anything. So in 6 months somebody has been able to pull this through. So it means that there is so much more that can be achieved in the space of 4 years before now thinking of, tell me why the people of that community would not want to put him again if he says he's going for the second tenure. This is what we're talking about, and I also look forward to him bringing this to reality, and that is a kudos from me to him, and more kudos if this is being achieved. Okay, so away from that, let's take a look at the last story that we have from the Sun newspaper, and this says Labour adamant on strike over Ajero. The NLC and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) had on Friday resolved to embark on a nationwide strike to protest attack on Mr. Joe Ajero. He was arrested by the operatives of the Nigerian police during a protest march organized by the Congress in Owerri, Imo State, in response to the claim that the state government was abusing and violating rights of its workers. NLC alleged Ajero was brutalized by security agents attached to Governor Hope Uzodinma. However, the Imo Police Command has refuted the allegations, saying he was not arrested but taken into protective custody to avoid being lynched by a mob. To avert the strike, the Labour Centre has demanded investigation and deployment of the Commissioner of Police in Imo, sack of the area commander of the police and all other officers and men in Owerri, through whom the police commissioner supervised the attack, as well as the arrest of an immediate prosecution of Mr. Nwaneri Chinaza, aide to the governor. The workers' union also asked for the immediate, independent and unbiased through professional medical examination of all victims of the attack, immediate restoration of all properties lost, and urgent implementation of all outstanding industrial relations agreements previously entered with the state government ahead of the industrial action. The top hierarchy of the organized labor organs would meet in Abuja tomorrow to ratify the proposed nationwide strike. Okay, so and that's the last story that we have for you today. So if labor is adamant on going on strike, I know that there is a reason behind it, and going by the story, there's been a lot of bustle and also talking about this, and then they are really seeking for a strike, a sack of all of these people who have put these things together, and justice needs to be served. If they are found guilty, I know that justice will be served to whosoever is behind this if they are not doing the right thing as being spoken. So, Dapo, lastly, what do you have to say to this story before we call it a day?
What I have to say is that investigation should be made on why the Labour leader was attacked and brutalized. it's unfair on his person to suffer such an ambush. Nobody till now can really give us the fact of what went down between him and the officials who must have mishandled him, and it's so sad to see him in that scene. And then for NSC to say they are embarking on in an indefinite strike, nationwide strike, I think they have a right to do so. If you are not treated well, the only way you have to express yourself as citizens is to go on a strike, a peaceful one, and that way you state your displeasure with whatever the present government is doing, against that you think should be addressed. So if they have said they will go on a national strike, they should go ahead and do so.
The question is why the attack?
What?
Does it mean that people cannot express or come out to do the needful?
The attack is obvious because it's not dancing to their tune or something that we don't understand. But investigations are going to be, so I don't want to jump on any matter that is under investigative person. So let them do their job and investigate and tell us what has happened, why he was brutalized, and if they have said they would be going on a national strike, they should go ahead and strike.
All right, that is how much we can take for today's newspaper review on Morning Dew. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Like I used to say, if you have any contribution or comment or any other things that you want us to air for you on the station, feel free to drop your comments and suggestions, and we'll be so glad to hear and reply your comments as soon as possible. So thank you so much for staying tuned. It's a great start of the week. Make sure you have yourself a great week and do the right thing. Do the right thing. As citizens, do not follow suit if others are doing the wrong thing. It is not the right way to go. I remain yours truly, Modit Dominic.
And I'm Dapo Lonotan. From all of us in the studio, all our entire crew, we are saying have a beautiful week, a beautiful Monday, and to Modit.
Yes, and be Nigeria.
And bye Nigeria.
Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire.